Good morning and healthy greeting to all of us, and thank you for your time on this occasion. I will present my paper entitled Gamification and the Learning Community for Culinary Basic Course at Higher Education. And this paper was created by Winanti Fortumban Gaul Meliana, Harjanto Prabowo, Francisca Sestri Gusjayanti, and my friend is Mr. Dwi Ferdiatmoko Cahyokumoro. And then introduction 1. Low participant in class discussion, difficult to understand the basic concept of teaching material, low engagement, low motivation, and low collaboration. And two, food a major factor in one's health, and food is a lifestyle in addition to basic need and determine of one health. And three, gamification technique with current condition, namely the COVID-19 pandemic, where fun and happy learning is needed so that student and motivation to always learn. Relate works on the process of game thinking and game mechanic to engage user and solve problems, and the use of game design element in non-game context. And game pattern thinking is adapted from several approaches, include simulation, real game, educational game, and gamification. Gamification provides space to creativity, ideas, and problem solving throughout a multidisciplinary blend. The main element and the lecture are assisted with learning material that are made systematical and structured by competency standard, so that gamification tool can help lecture to students in the learning process and can maximize motivation, feeling on pleasure, and involvement in the learning process. And the pandemic condition is a challenge for lecture in presenting a distance learning atmosphere, and the context of culinary education on attractive solution for students, especially for students who are directly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And the cooking is no longer a difficult thing to do nowadays. There are lots cooking media and application, and other and cooking game have become one of the preferred type of cooking learning methods. And the methods, learning with gamification was developed to increase student motivation and learning to cook in higher education, so that it will have an impact to improving student learning outcome, especially in basic culinary course. And the steps taken are as follow: describing the background of the problem regarding the low motivation of student, and interaction between student and lecturer low, and the pressure felt by student and continuous learning. And the learning with gamification techniques and the basic culinary course and the catering study program are as follow. Once learning objective and learning problem analyze, the must tool taken in learning basic culinary course with gamification technique at higher education is to identification problem and analyze learning problem in higher education, and then to define the big data, the big idea, follow this picture two expected learning outcome with gamification. Learning is designed to determine creative, interactive, and big idea to produce maximum learning, and student can properly process and understand the basic culinary course, which are the basic and main course on the culinary department. And the participation identification with game scenario, actors, and the learning process are student, lecture, and one lecture assistant. The framework will be tested within one semester, which will the testing for the framework is the development stage, and this initial testing process. Student in one class are divided into several group. Its group consists of 4 to uh, 6 student with the same participation, and to uh, implementation of gamification. The implementation of gamification technique, uh, starting from the initial preparation of learning, the learning process, and the end of the learning encouraged by referring to the selected topic, and the type of basic culinary learning here is divided into two types, namely individual learning and collaborative learning with group. Its learning objective map according to the game mechanism that has been selected, and determines fast interaction and feedback from lecture in this learning is important to improve learning outcome, motivation, and a sign of joy and fun in Chord 2 picture 3. The evaluation of learning outcome to measure the extent of learning success by using latent variables, namely feeling of the pleasure, joy, motivation, and student satisfaction, and correlation between variable and causal relationship between variable were analyzed using statistics, and the learning outcome are also used to see how much on increase in learning outcome affect and is increase to lecture performance, and the conclusion. Qualitative measurements were carried of even throughout the sample was a guide a small student learning outcome in basic culinary course, so a better result than conventional methods, and the value with the gamification recognized technique is greater than the value before using gamification. The difference in the value of the conventional method with the gamification method is 10 or 20 point. Great impact for a student and the lecture after using gamification technique, and very hard both in uh, active maximum result, and the student are more creative and innovative with gamification. The learning atmosphere is uh, more live and dynamic with a fun atmosphere. Student motivation and satisfaction are made. Interaction between student and lecturer can be well and humanist and stabilize and the learning objective can be active maximal and student will complex competent to get better grades. And thank you.